Great day, great day, great day. Come on in, you all. As you come in, let me know where you're tuning in from. It's a blessing to be before you all the day after the holidays. It's a blessing. I'm still alive. And if you're watching and tuning in, that means you're alive as well. We're streaming, of course, to Facebook, and we are also streaming on YouTube. So as you come in to my Facebook and my YouTube family, let us know where you are tuning in from, city and state or country. City and state or country. I want to thank you so much for coming on in. It's a blessing. I'm live right here in Southfield, Michigan, my hometown of Detroit, Michigan. This is where I was born and raised. I was born at Sinai Grace Hospital. So, all my Detroiters out there, you wanted to know, I'm definitely born from Sinai Grace Hospital. So, if you're from Sinai Grace, put it in the chat. But I just wanted to come live before you all just for a quick moment and kind of talk about a few different things that are important to me and important to the people around me, of course. I titled this How Network Marketing Changed My Life. I'm right here in the hotel right now at the Westin. I am actually live here at the Westin. This is one of the hotels I remember I would go to a lot when I was growing up in high school and things of that nature. It was always one of those nice hotels. But now I get to go here to really present an opportunity to people that has been life changing, truly life changing. So as you come in, put it in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from, city and state or country, so I can shout you out and say hello and greet you to my beautiful Facebook and YouTube family. So let's get into it. Let's get right into it. How network marketing changed my life. First, I'll start a little bit with my story. Some of you guys may know my story, some of you guys may not. I always remember that there's always new followers that come on, so I want to always make sure that they know who is talking to them and my background. So as of right now, I'm 39 years old, you guys. Next month is my birthday. Yes, can you believe it? I am going to be hitting the big 40. Woo! Am I scared? No. I'm not scared because I put some things in place that can make sure that I'll be all right. You know what I mean? And even more than all right, I'm working towards 100% thriving. Okay? So a few years back, I would say back in 2017, I was on dialysis, you guys. As you can see right here on my arm, this is what you call a fistula, if you guys did not know. So it's a fistula that is on my left arm. They usually put it on your non-writing arm. So whatever your non-dominant arm is, that's where it would go. I actually started off with a catheter that was actually right here. And that's how I started off with dialysis. Dialysis for me, lasted for about 3 years. I was on dialysis. It started with me getting dialysis within the hospital. And then I went to DaVita kidney dialysis. And when I went to DaVita kidney dialysis, I had people that, administered everything. But one thing I couldn't stand? I couldn't stand having someone else having control over me and how I'm able to live. So what I did was I told myself, this is something I would rather do myself. And when I told them that, they said, okay, we do have at-home dialysis. And the at-home dialysis was a game changer for me, you all, because during the time that I was on dialysis, I was still working full time. And by working full time, what I mean is I would have to get up early in the morning to be at a kidney center or a dialysis center by 5 o'clock in the morning. So from 3 to 4 hours, I would be on a machine. And after that, I would go straight to work. I would work 8 hours, and that would be my days, you guys. It was pretty much dialysis, go to work full time, and then get off work, right? And those were some hard times. But one thing about me, I am a go getter. That's one thing people notice about my personality. I am not the type of person that wants to give excuses. I don't believe in excuses. I believe excuses hold you back in life. So a lot of times people say, oh, I don't have time. Oh, I don't have enough money. Oh, I'm not feeling well enough to do it. Well, let me tell you something. I worked full time while doing dialysis, while actually having my firstborn son that was going to while I was pregnant, you guys. If you can believe it. Yes, I was on dialysis and pregnant and I was actually working a full-time job all in one. So when I say you can do anything, I mean it. You can do anything. I want you guys to understand that more than anything. You don't take anything away from what I'm saying. Remember, you can do anything. Okay? So during those times, it was scary for me. It was a difficult time, but I was able to make it through. And how was I able to make it through? I was able to, like I told you, I told them, hey, I want to learn how to do at home dialysis. So I started doing the at home dialysis, which meant even more work because now it's all on me to get everything ready. I wasn't going to a center anymore where they would get everything ready and I can get up at, I was there at 5 and then went to work. Now it's I have to get up early before I go to work, get my batch ready. And I still remember this like it was yesterday, even though it was 2017 and it's 2025 now. But I would have to get up early, get my batch ready. And by getting my batch ready, that means get the machine ready so that it can have good filtered clean water because that's important. Okay. Of course, I'm sure you guys can understand why. So I would get those things ready. I would get my, and sorry for anybody that may have an eerie stomach or don't want to hear this type of stuff, but I have to be transparent on my life. I would get my needles ready and all the things that I need to do my dialysis. Okay. So dating back to those times, I remember it was so many times that I would tell myself, my goodness, this is hard. This is difficult, but I'm going to get through. I always tell myself, I'm going to get through. Always tell myself, it's always going to be better times. Something's going to happen in my life. Something's going to change. So if you're right now in your storm and you're listening to my words, I'm telling you, better times are coming. Just hold fast. Hold fast. I'm telling you, hold fast. So while I was in my storm, I'm on dialysis. I'm administering my own. You know what we do. We're on Facebook. We're on these social media platforms. And what do we do when we're on there? We're seeing everybody living their best lives, right? Enjoying themselves, having fun, and they're just embracing everything, right? So when I was actually on dialysis and I was watching all these people, the one thing I noticed is people were traveling everywhere. I mean, they were going places I couldn't even imagine of going, and some simple places that I still hadn't been to. It was stuff as simple as going to Vegas or going to Miami or going to even just to New Orleans. These are places I hadn't been to because for me, when I was very young, I was diagnosed with nephrotic syndrome. And with being diagnosed with nephrotic syndrome, I spent most of my life in and out of hospitals all the time, even as a child. So I spent a lot of my time in and out of hospitals. So I never got to experience a lot of things that some people take for granted. And if you're coming in, feel free to let us know where you're tuning in from, city or state, city or state. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. And I appreciate you for tuning in here on this beautiful holiday weekend. So listen, it was a difficult time, but let me tell you something. I always said to myself, I believe in hope and I believe in divine appointment as well. So I would tell myself one day when I get my kidney, I'm going to travel the world just as much as I see everybody else traveling the world. I'm going to experience life abundantly out loud. I'm going to live my life with no regrets. I'm going to take advantage of every single second and every single moment. And the thing about it is, I remember there were times when I would go to dialysis and I would sit next to someone, and this is before I did it at home. But if this is when I was in the center, I sat next to this guy and he says, I feel like I'm in the waiting room to die. That always stood out to me and is something I would never forget for the rest of my life. Is him saying, I feel like I'm in the waiting room to die. This is the very reason why I say I have to live every single second like it counts. Every single second like it counts. And if you're going to say you have to live every single second like it counts, you don't have time for excuses. You don't have time to say, oh, I'll do it next year. I'll wait till tomorrow. Not right now. Because not right now, what do you mean not right now? If not now, then when? Because there's no guarantee tomorrow will come. There's no guarantee the very next second will come. There's no guarantee we'll take that next breath. So anything should be, when you're dealing with life, it should be moved with urgency. You should live with urgency. So with that being said, I told myself I was going to travel and I told myself I was going to travel all around the world, right? So fast forward, you guys, during the pandemic, we all remember the pandemic. It was a hard time, a very trying time. A lot of people lost loved ones. And a lot of times, what I like to do is just a moment of silence for those who lost a loved one. And you may be watching right now. Thank you so much for taking that moment of silence with me to all the ones that were lost during that time. It was a scary time for many families, not only because of the fact people were scared that what if I get COVID? Um, what would happen? What if I lose my life? All these type of fears were popping up. On top of the fact, people were scared financially. People were scared where their next paycheck will come from, where their money would come from. People were being laid off. People, it was so much going on during that pandemic. And then on top of that, you were told to stay within your house. We couldn't even interact with one another. And whether you realize it or not, the human touch is worth so much. That's why a lot of things were happening during that time, such as domestic violence, all these different things that was going on during that time because people were stuck in the house and they couldn't get out to feel that human touch, to be embraced by one another, right? So it was a trying time for all of us. And during that pandemic, I was at work one day and I did what most people do while they're at work. And what is that? We're scrolling on social media or scrolling on something on our phones to kind of feel like we can escape, even if it's just for one moment, right? So I was doing what most people do. I was on Facebook and I was scrolling. What did I see? I saw two people, two married couple. They were a married couple and they were traveling and they were living their life out loud, right? It was exactly how I pictured how I wanted my life to go. So it stood out to me. It was something like, oh my goodness, this is what I want. This is what I've always wanted to do. So when I saw them traveling and I saw them with the beautiful, those great smiles, those great smiles that just bring you in and gravitate to you, I saw it. I saw it and it made me wonder, how are they traveling so often? So what I did was I jumped into their DMs. Well, one of them, the wife, director Latondra Johnson, I jumped into her DM and asked her, how are you traveling so much? And she introduced me to an opportunity, you all, that literally changed my life. Literally changed my life. And I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about this. I titled this How Network Marketing Changed My Life because I joined my company for travel, but what I received was so much more, so much more. Let me tell you, before network marketing, before this journey I took, I never even had an expense report. And to my people out there that are greens and you analyze everything and you're like, oh my God, are you serious? Yes, I'm telling you guys the truth. I did not have an expense report. I was one of those people that just get up, go with the flow, know things that I want to do for the day, but it wasn't planned out. How many of you out there put it in the chat if sometimes you just wake up, you didn't plan your day out the day before, you didn't plan your month out the month before, you're definitely not planning your whole year out. A lot of you guys may not even live by calendars. If that's you, put it in the chat. That was me. That was my life. It was more of a get up, I'm going to do what I want to do, I'm going to enjoy it, but I didn't plan it. You know what I mean? I didn't realize how much I was suffering by not planning my life out and having some concrete goals to stick to. With that being said, like I said, I didn't have an expense report. A lot of times, millionaires and billionaires will teach you if you can't control your money, you can't control your wealth. Money is a tool. I want you guys to understand that money, you know how some people say money isn't everything. No, money isn't everything. Why do you care so much about money? It's not money that people care about because that's just a tool. It's the freedom that people care about. The freedom to have the time that works on their own time, meaning I don't have to ask a boss to go be with my children. I don't have to ask a boss if I want to go take a trip around the world. I don't have to ask anyone. I create my own destiny and I don't ask another adult for permission. That's having time and personal freedom, you guys, to be able to do what I want when I want. And then on top of that, you can have all the time in the world, such as people that may not have a job. They have all the time in the world to do what they want, but what are they lacking? Financial freedom. So you need all three to really live an abundant life the way you would like to live it, according to your own rules. So by doing that, by not knowing where my money was going, not having an expense report, I was lacking in so many areas and I didn't know. A lot of times you can't get mad at yourself for things you didn't know. But once you become in knowledge of, now it's up to yourself to be accountable. And I held myself accountable for the fact that I didn't educate myself. I didn't educate myself to the things that were out there. I didn't run in the right circles. A lot of times we don't know things because we're running in all the wrong circles of people that can't teach us anything. There's a reason why they tell you if you're the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room. Because what can you learn from that room if you're the smartest? Everybody's learning from you and they're gaining knowledge from you, but you're being drained because they're draining that knowledge from you, but you're not being lifted up to learn anything new. So you're, in a sense, being stagnant in life. And a lot of times that's what people are experiencing. They're the smartest one in the room. And it may boost your ego, but it doesn't do anything for your growth. I want you guys to understand that. It may boost your ego, but it will not help you with your growth. So when I got around these amazing individuals, I got my business started, as you guys know, and I started getting around these amazing individuals. I realized it's so much I didn't know. So much I didn't know. I learned to control my money. I now have an expense report. I know exactly where each dollar is going. And I know how to make it, save it, and then invest it. That's important. I didn't say go out, spend, and go crazy with money. I said you want to make it, you want to save it, and then you want to go back and invest it. This is how your money starts to make money for you. That's why I said it's a tool. Your money should be able to provide to make money for you. Instead of just linear income where you go to work every day and then you get a paycheck and then you're already thinking about time when the paycheck comes, how you can spend it and what you're going to spend it on. We just had July 4th, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people were blowing a lot of money. A lot of people were spending a lot of money. They were drinking, they were having fun, they're popping fireworks, a lot of things that people do. They went on trips, a lot of people traveled, a lot of people did a lot of things with their money, but not everyone actually analyzes where their money is going. So a lot of times they get upset. Let's say you go on a trip, you come back, and then you have bills to pay. You have bills to pay, and you get upset because you spent all this money on the trip, even though you had a great time, but you didn't analyze and really check your money to know where your money goes, to create that expense report, to save it, and know how to invest it. That way, your money is making money for you. Okay. So that's the one thing I learned being around network marketers. One thing about them, they are keen on making sure that they make it save and invested. Okay. Another thing I learned was to really learn how to have emotional intelligence. Yes, emotional intelligence. I'll be transparent. I'm a transparent person. I'm always honest around the board, you guys. I did not know even what the word meant. So feel free to judge me in the comments. You can say how you feel. If you knew what it was and you're like, oh my goodness, you didn't know? Yes, I was one of those people that did not know what emotional intelligence was. And a lot of times when you get upset or someone says something you don't like, you can clap back. You ever heard somebody clap back? And they clap back so fast because a lot of times when we're fed different information, it goes through our brain, right? But it first hits the emotional part of your brain before it goes to the frontal lobe, that is your logic. So a lot of times before you even logically think about what you're saying, you've already clapped back at someone, and it's based out of your emotions, right? How you feel about what they said. Whether you even gain clarity on what they had to say or not, sometimes we may not even understand what they truly even meant and may have misread what they were trying to say. You ever had a text message conversation with someone and you get the words misconstrued and you already go back at them and you're mad and things like that? Or even in person, someone may say something and they may have meant it one way, but you interpreted it a whole different way and now you're upset. Emotional intelligence will teach you that first wait, stop, take a beat, and realize when you respond emotionally without gaining clarity, without understanding, without trying to truly understand, a lot of times you can make a lot of mistakes. And we as people, we can make mistakes, whether we want to admit it or not. Like, share, comment, by the way. Like, share, comment as you come in. Let me know where you're tuning in from, city, state, or country. City, state, or country. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments. I love when you guys interact. I truly do. I truly, truly do. But yes, so with emotional intelligence, it taught me how to take a moment, listen to what really gain understanding of what the person is saying before I respond, first and foremost. And if I can tell you guys, this one thing has strengthened my relationships in so many different areas of my life, whether it's in business, whether it's in work, whether it's with my friends, with my family. That emotional intelligence is a game changer, okay? And if you haven't read it, Emotional Intelligence 2.0, definitely read it. I am an avid reader, and that's another thing. Because of network marketing, I have become an avid reader. Let me tell you, I was not that big on reading. If it wasn't something that maybe a friend told me to read or something like that, I wasn't really reading like that. Now I'm motivated to read whether someone tells me to read or not. Okay. So these are some of the things that I was able to grow and develop over time from network marketing. Okay. And it's so many different things, you guys, that really ultimately changed my life. It taught me discipline, discipline. And discipline was something that I didn't know I needed, but now I'm glad I have. Discipline has taught me how to not only, like I said, plan my day, be strategic about how I spend my time, what I do with my time, and the people that I'm around. But discipline taught me how to manage so many different things. And you guys recently heard me say on a post, I told you guys, hey, I lost 25 pounds in 2 months. And I'm still working on my health, still doing everything I can so that I have great health. Because as you heard my story, my testimony before, it's imperative that I do. It's imperative that I have good health. And it is for you too. Everybody, health is wealth. Health is wealth. You can't do anything unless you're here. You have to be here to be able to do the things you want to do. So when I get up every morning, and I get up every morning at 6 something in the morning, 6 o'clock, and I go walking outside walking, and that came from the discipline that I learned within this opportunity of network marketing. Okay. So I want to take a beat to talk about some of the rumors. We might as well get them out the way because a lot of people have preconceived notions about what network marketing is, what it does, how it affects others. So let's go ahead and get it out the way. Because I have conversations with people all the time and I hear some of these, and I always have to educate and provide this information. So I figured, why not go live and provide it as well to my YouTube and my Facebook family. Feel free to let me know where you're tuning in from, city and state or country. I want to thank you for taking this time right after July 4th to tune in with me. So, top rumors I hear in network marketing. Number one, only the people at the top will ever make the money. Let's talk about it. Only the people at the top will ever make the money. And if you're one of those people that felt that way, don't be ashamed. Feel free to put it in the chat. Feel free to state how you feel so we can talk about it. Let's talk about it. This is interesting. It's an interesting comment to me. And the reason why, and I'll tell you this, the reason why it's interesting. Have you ever noticed people go to work every single day and they have no problem going to work, even though it's pretty evident that what? Only the people at the top make the money. Am I right or am I right? If I'm wrong, let me know. I'm willing to listen. I love to have conversation and dialogue and to discuss it. Isn't it, at the end of the day, let's discuss it. But how many people do you know, no matter what company you're working for, how many of you will ever make enough money at your company to live next to the CEO, right next to him or her? Not many. So when people say only the people at the top make the money, isn't that kind of like a lot of the jobs out here where only the CEO is making the real money? Meanwhile, a lot of employees are living paycheck to paycheck. Some of them are scratching and sniffing. Some of them have to go get second jobs. Let's be transparent. Some of them are doing things like Ubering and drive sharing and things of that nature just to supplement their income so that they can be able to make more money to pay their bills. Because whether we realize it or not, times are the way they are. You know, we can blame economy, we can blame whatever we want to blame, but the cost of living is the cost of living. And unless we come up with a plan developed to help us in those times, it can really bite a family. It can really be critical for a family to make sure that their children eat, their family eat, right? It's important. So when people say only the people at the top ever make the money, to me, I smile because I said that sounds a lot like our jobs, right? But let me tell you something. In network marketing, this is where this is incorrect. And I say this because in network marketing, the work you put in determines where you go. It's not like that at a job. You can put in a lot of work at a job, but if you're not the favored one for that actual promotion, you may not get it. You may work harder than the person next to you, and you guys are still getting paid the exact same. Meanwhile, it could be someone that sits to the right of you that doesn't even put in half the work that even the other two of you do. They hardly, do anything. They do just enough so they don't get fired, but they're still getting the same pay, right? In network marketing, it's not like that. You get what you put in. You put in the work, you get paid for the work that you do. So if someone's putting in more work, truth be told, we can't take it away from them. They're going to make more money. They are. More so than the person that just joins and they're waiting around, sitting around, not doing anything with it. And a lot of times what happens in network marketing, when a person doesn't do anything with it, they always get mad. They always quit and say, well, I didn't get any help. That's the very first thing you'll always hear someone say. I didn't get any help. And a lot of times, I'm in network marketing, so I can tell you the truth from my own experience. And I'm sure it's a lot of network marketers out there that can tell you the truth too. I'm pretty sure whoever brought them in the business tried to reach out a few times. A few times. What happens is a lot of times people they join excited, but then they realize, oh, I have to actually do work. I actually have to do something. Yeah, this is a legitimate business. It's a legitimate business. A lot of times people don't realize this, but it's a legitimate business. And in a legitimate business, you have to do some work. If I go open up a shoe store and I just sit around and do nothing, am I going to sell shoes that day? Probably not. If I don't market it, if I don't market my store, if I don't tell people about the store, if I'm not telling my family and friends, hey, come support me, come out to my store that I just opened on my grand opening, how do I expect to sell a shoe? I won't, right? It's going to be difficult. Same with network marketing. It is a legitimate business. So with a legitimate business, you have to put in the work. What you put in, you're going to get out of it. There are some people that go hard. And when I say go hard, they will make sure every single day they touch their business. And those are the people that when you say the people at the top are the only ones that make the money, they're making the money because they're touching their business every single day. When their coaches are telling them, hey, make sure that you're making a list of 100 people that you can talk to tell them about an opportunity that can change their life, they're doing those things. And I want to introduce this to you guys. If you guys don't know this book, hopefully you guys can see it. It is from Eric Worre, Go Pro. Let me put it up close so you guys can really see it. Eric Worre, Go Pro. Okay? The 7 steps to becoming a network marketing professional. This is what I mean by this is a professional, legitimate business. There's actually rules and things that you have to do if you want to be successful. If you want to be successful in anything, you have to study your craft. If I want to go do photography, I don't just say, oh, I want to do photography and I don't study how to become great at what I do. I have to know the terminology. I have to know how the lens works. Now, I'm not a photographer, so my photographers don't judge me. But you have to learn certain things so that you can be successful in what you're trying to do, right? So I have to learn. So GoPro is a definite, I would recommend to anyone. If you're joining network marketing, you need GoPro. Learn how to become a network marketing professional if you want to win. If you want to be one of those people at the top that win, study to show yourself approved. So I want you guys to understand if it's not anything you learned from that one dispelled rumor I've already dispelled the rumor, only the people at the top make the money, you can too. Do the work. And I guarantee you, you'll make the money. But the great thing about network marketing that's different from traditional businesses is you're going to have a team of people that are willing to help you make it to get out of whatever you want out of it. If you say, "Hey, I want to make 100K a month," in my business, there are people making 100K a month because they were coachable and they put in the work. This is serious business, you guys. It's people making $500,000. It's people making all types of money in network marketing. It's creating more millionaires than a lot of other jobs and businesses. I want you guys to understand this. This is the key I want you guys to get, because a lot of times people are misinformed and they hear things from their friends and family, and a lot of times they're getting advice from people who joined and did nothing. And did nothing. So you get what you put in, okay? Number two, biggest rumor, pyramid scheme. Let's talk about it. I love this one. I love when people say, "Oh, that's a pyramid scheme." It kind of goes in line with only the people at the top make the money, right? It's a pyramid scheme. Let me tell you something. In my business, we receive a 1099. A 1099 is something that we must report to the IRS. So no one, and I mean no one, in a pyramid scheme is going to report their findings and what they're making to the IRS. They're not going to do that. That's what you would consider in a pyramid scheme. Another thing you guys may not know, a pyramid scheme, they do not have a product. Okay? It's like join, 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 but there's no product that's being sold. Okay? I want you guys to understand this. In my business, we sell travel. Although travel, as you know, sells itself, because who doesn't want to go to the beaches and all over the world? It sells itself. Everybody wants to travel. And a lot of times everybody needs my business of travel to do their business. So our product is travel. You cannot have a product in a pyramid scheme. I want you guys to understand that. So one, the number one reason was we receive a 1099, which we report to the IRS. Number two, we have a product, which is travel. So I'm educating some people out there that say, "Oh, pyramid scheme this, pyramid scheme that." A lot of times, and it's nothing wrong with having these feelings. A lot of times it's just because you've heard something from someone else who did not know. And the rumors get spread from people that did not educate themselves to know. And that's what I'm here to educate. A lot of times that's what network marketing is. We're educators. We teach people things that they may not understand or may not know. Number three, you don't make any money. They all kind of align with one another, don't they? They really do. They all kind of align with one another. You don't make any money. It goes back to what I was saying. If you don't do anything, you're not going to make anything. If you don't do anything, you're not going to make anything. Really is that simple. With anything in life, if you don't do something first to start something, it doesn't begin. So how do you expect to make money without doing anything? A lot of times what people will do is they'll join, they may do something for one day, they get burnt out, and then they don't really want to touch their business. And then they say, "Oh, I didn't make any money." Okay. And I understand. I get it. I get it. I get it. We live in a popcorn society. Let's just be honest. We do live in a popcorn society where things happen right here, right now. People go on dating apps and they're swiping, they're clicking the button, looking for fast gratification, right? Things to happen quickly. When things are too slow, we get frustrated, right? If you're on the internet and your internet is going slow, you get frustrated. Truth be told, I come from the times of AOL. Remember the dial-up? Yes, I'm that old, you guys. I'm a 1985 baby, so I remember the days of AOL where you had to dial in to be able to connect to the internet. Remember when you got on and they said, you guys know the slogan. I remember it. I remember it all. Times have changed. Times have extremely changed. Now, when you get on the internet, it's like, boop, drop of a hat. Instead of hearing that, shoo, I can't even do the noise it used to make when you're trying to connect on AOL. It used to be hilarious, but you knew that noise because you knew where you were trying to get on. So I want you guys to understand, in a popcorn society, people want things right here, right now. But I want you guys to also understand a term called delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. What delayed gratification means is you're doing the work now, which means you do the work now, you're putting in the work now. So later, you can reap higher rewards. This is different from a job. So a job is where you go in every day, you do the work, you get paid. In entrepreneurship, a lot of times you're doing the work for very little pay in the beginning. I want you guys to understand this. You guys got to understand the truth. I'm here to educate you on the honesty and transparency of entrepreneurship. And this is what scares a lot of people away from entrepreneurship. You're doing a lot of work in the beginning for very low pay. Okay? Very low pay. But then because you continue to do the work, compound it over time, and you get the knowledge, you become better. Before you become good, you're going to be bad. I'm going to let you guys understand this. And before you get great, you're going to be good. So each level, if you just touch your businesses every day, if you're touching your businesses every day, you're going to get better. And you're going to get better to where you get great. When you get great, guess what? That delayed gratification I was talking about, now you're going to get paid more for things that you're not even having to do as much. You're going to get paid more for things that you're not even putting in as much work as you did in the beginning. That's what delayed gratification is. You're reaping higher rewards. So when you hear somebody saying, oh, I'm making 100K a month, when there are people at a job that's still making six figures a year, and that's good money, don't get me wrong. That's good money. I'm not downing anything about a job. I want you guys to understand that. It's great money. But would you rather put in the work now and then be able to get way more later? Wouldn't that make a lot more sense? It does to me. So that's something that I would strongly suggest that people look into delayed gratification. So these are some of the things I wanted to talk to you about network marketing. And if you guys have any questions, concerns, you know how to reach me. You can always direct message me and ask the question. I want to know more. I want to know more about network marketing. I want to see how it can change my life. I want to see if it's a good fit for me. Any questions you may ask, I'm here just to educate. That's it. I'm not here to force anything upon anyone. I'm not in the convincing business. I want you guys to understand that. Network marketers, we're not in the convincing business. All we're here to do is educate so that you guys can make a valid decision that can be life changing for your life. And it's a professional business and it is a legitimate business. So for those champions out there, and I know there are some champions, feel free to contact me and let's have a real discussion. Let's talk about it. And let's talk about it with emotional intelligence, which means with the logical responses and really grasping what each other is saying. That way we can have a great discussion. You can either comment in the chats, you can send me a direct message. And for those who love it, you can always text me directly at 313-300-7740. That's my business line, and I'm always willing to educate. I want to thank you all for tuning in today. Like, share, comment, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay blessed, stay beautiful. It's your time, it's your turn. Let's all win.